Hey, Sweat Sisters. Welcome to the Pretty Girl Sweat Show, which highlights women who are balancing demanding careers with a healthy lifestyle and hurdling over personal and professional obstacles. I'm your host, Aeshia DeVore Branch, and each week I have a sister-to-sister chat with an inspiring go-getter, and listeners learn how good things come to those who sweat. If this is your first time listening, what up? You could be anywhere in the world and you're here with me, and I really appreciate that. If you love what you hear, take a second to subscribe to the podcast so you get updates every time we drop a new episode. If you got half a second, leave a rating, which will help other sweat sisters in need of inspiration find our podcast. If you have a minute, please follow us across all social media platforms. We are at Pretty Girl Sweat on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and YouTube. Use the hashtag PrettyGirlSweat when sharing this episode. And if you have 5 minutes, please leave a review and let us know how we're doing. Hey, Sweat Sisters. On episode 29 of the Pretty Girl Sweat Show, fitness trainer, author, and entrepreneur Leticia Gardner stops by to share how her dedication and love for God, family, and fitness contributed to her success and sanity. Keep listening because her words of wisdom will move and motivate you just as much as her workout plans.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. So I have been looking forward to this day. I mean, you know, we all follow you on Instagram and look at your family and how dedicated you are to health and wellness. So I really wanted to learn about your background and your upbringing and kind of what got you to where you are today. So let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing and how it was being you as a kid.
Okay, so I was born in Jersey City, New Jersey. I have a couple of brothers and sisters, one older brother, 3 younger sisters. My mom left my father when we were younger, so we kind of moved around. But when I was about 12 or 13, she met her husband today. And we didn't get along too well, so that didn't last too long in her house. So I ended up leaving and moving back to Jersey with my grandmother. And from there, I finished off high school till I got pregnant and left Jersey. I got pregnant after high school. I was 19.
Wow. So at 19, what was going on in your mind being a young mom? Like, because there's, young moms all across the country who can maybe use some advice from you or just want to hear how you felt during that time. Can you share?
Oh man. Yeah, it was extremely scary, and I've been public about it. It's really tough trying to figure out how I'm going to raise a woman when I'm not even one yet myself. I don't even know what that looks like yet. So I read a lot of parenting books, but I was completely on my own. I didn't have family or anybody to help me. So there wasn't a baby shower. There wasn't any help. I was on my own. So it was really scary, but I will say that one thing about parenthood and motherhood, it's something that you just have to take day by day. Because if you try to overthink it, you'll go crazy. It's one of the best experience and the hardest jobs you'll ever have in life.
So true. I can high five you on that one.
Right.
Okay, so back in school, specifically like elementary school, were you a good student, or do you feel like you had to someone had to help you stay focused?
I think I was always good in school. I always did well in school. One thing about me, and I've learned, if I apply myself, if I want it, I can have it. But when I don't, then I don't. I'm like either all in or all out. But with school, I always had my grades on point. I always actually did pretty good in school.
What was your favorite subject?
History was my favorite subject.
I could see that for sure.
I actually had an honors award in history, even graduating. I actually was into history, but I can't tell you half the stuff now.
I know. I feel like we learn everything, and then it's like, whoop.
Right. But it was actually one I enjoyed learning about. It intrigued me. I guess stories and writing. I love that too.
Did you play any sports?
I ran track for a little while in high school before, things got crazy for me. But, yeah, I did. I ran track. I love being active. I loved always being outdoors. So that was fun.
Did you have a favorite coach?
Oh my gosh, I don't even remember my coach's name. I remember what she looks like. And I remember back in the day, I had a bad mouth. And anytime I cursed, she would make me run laps. I think I forgot her name on purpose, but it was worth it. It was worth it. But she would catch me every time. I learned that there's consequences to your mouth.
Well, when did you make the decision to go to Herzing University?
You know what? I actually went a couple of years ago. So it was actually after I've been grown. I didn't go to college out of high school. I was a single mom at the time, and I was just in survivor mode. All I knew was I had to take care of this little girl. It just wasn't about me anymore. So that's what I did. But when I got married, God positioned me to figure out who I am now. Now it's time to figure out you're in a place of peace and stability that you need to start walking in your purpose. And I didn't really know what that looked like at first. I was into like law and debate team and even stuff like that. I wasn't on the debate team, but I loved it. I loved good at arguing. So I was like, I want to study this. So I went into law, and then I got a job at the law firm that I actually wanted to be a part of. And then I learned very quickly that this whole 9-to-5 schedule is not for me at all. I don't want to do this no more. So I literally got a job in the first year of studying law at Herzing and stopped both of them by the end of the year. So I only did 1 year of college and 6 months at the job.
Wow. And so then, okay.
Crazy.
That's crazy, but pretty impressive. I mean,
I was like, well, I feel like I accomplished, I was a straight A student when I was there. I even got voted student body president. I was like, okay, I'm killing this. And then I'm like, but I don't want to do this no more. But that's my personality. I'm either all in or I'm like, I don't want it. I might think I want something. So I try it. And then I get out there and be like, nope, this isn't it.
So what? Okay. I'm like, okay, 6 months.
That is all.
Then what did you do next?
So the funny thing is, I started diving in my relationship with God, and I started praying and fasting, and I asked God to show me, like, I've always been a hustler. I've always provided. So I'm not really good with this whole just stay at home and let my man take care of me thing. I like to be a partner, So I asked God, like, how can I, because being away for 6 months, not being away, but working that kind of schedule, it did take me away from the involvement that I was with in my children and my husband's life on a day-to-day basis. So I asked God to show me, like, what can I do to help provide for my family, but not miss anything with them either, because they're not going to remember that I'm just trying to work and figure things out. They're going to remember if I'm there or not. So I asked God just to show me that, and I fasted, and it was crazy that afterwards it was like, boom, fitness and meal prepping was what he led me to. And I had started my own meal prep company at that time while I was still working at the law firm. But it did good really fast. So I ended up making more money meal prepping than I was at the law firm. So I'm like, well, I can just let this go now and focus on that. And that's what I did.
How did you find your clients?
Well, the thing about working at a 9-to-5, I stayed in the gym still, which was funny because it's like fitness was always a way of life. It's crazy. I didn't see it as a business at the time. I went to the gym at 5:00 in the morning before work. I went to the gym at lunchtime while I was at work. I always got in trouble for leaving that long for lunch. But that's what I would do when I was building clientele. I'd get there in the morning, let people know what I had going on, take orders. Same thing at lunch. So I was just killing it on both sides. Go back to work. Okay, build clientele. Go back in the morning, drop off food, go back to the office. So I worked my behind off doing both of those for sure, but it paid off.
Yeah. Did you have any mentors during this time that, kind of helped you with this new business?
Just Jesus.
Yes. Okay.
He's the connect.
Exactly. Okay. So was the meal prep business also called Total Body 21, or was that new?
No, Total Body 21 came after. So it was meal preps by Gardner. Wasn't too much fancy. Leticia Gardner. You always using my name. But then I got with a web developer, and he showed me how to work smarter instead of harder, because that meal prep life is like It's a lot of work because the clientele built up fast, which was amazing. I thank God for that experience. But so I started an online program. We went with Total Body 21 because for me, it's total body for one. But it's 21 days to break a habit. You'd be surprised how much you can change in 21 days. And it's only 21 minutes a day. So it's not overwhelming. I really put into play being a mom, working, and what it takes to just commit in a process that's not overwhelming. But I got with the web developer and he showed me how I can start an e-commerce business, and that hit off pretty well. And I was like, well, I guess I'm done cooking in the kitchen. I'll just give you a meal plan. So that's what I did.
Smart idea. And so while you were figuring all of this out, how was your husband and your kids? Like, how were they supportive of you? Because a lot of moms out there are like, oh, I can't do this. I don't have the time. But we all need a support system, right? So
no, 100%. Oh, my family was amazing. They were just happy I was back home, honestly. I think they were there. My husband went and bought all new pots and pans. Okay, whatever you need, I got you, you know. My daughter, my oldest, she'll be 15 in March. She stayed in the kitchen with me, prepping and helping. A lot of them did. It became, you know, a team, and they really helped me a lot about the process. So it was really good. They were excited that I was home and getting that going. And then even after I stopped having to cook, my oldest was definitely happy. But it was, they were just happy that I was here again. I was present in everything. So if anyone's married, you know, husbands can be needier than kids sometimes. So that part, you know, got better, being able to put that time in and not missing anything at school, because I am that type of mom. I'm going to volunteer. I'm the PTA, the whole nine. I want to be present. So I think they were super happy. They missed me while I was gone. It felt like I was gone.
Well, are there any social media platforms that you feel have been super helpful with the growth of your business?
I love your page. I'm always using your tips and sharing the what to eat and what not to eat or stuff like that. That's pretty great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, but with reaching your customers in particular, like, have you found, you know, you've reached more people on Facebook to, you know, sign up for your programs, and more on Instagram or Twitter?
Definitely Instagram. I'm trying to do better with Facebook and Twitter, but Instagram is definitely my main platform. So I would definitely say that a lot. And it's funny, when I started my Instagram, it's only been less than 3 years. People are always like, look single, act like this, show fitness pictures that are more sexy and all of that. And I was like, scratch all that. I threw it all out the window. Like, don't post your family. Don't post about God. Don't post about... I said, I went against the grain on all of that. Right. And I kept it completely organic and authentic. And it just was like, I'm just going to be myself. And that's just it. Because there's 1,000 people who do fitness. You know, what's going to make you different? And that is one thing that I decided to do with my platform, is be the change I want to see. You can see a lot of fitness chicks who look amazing. I'm not taking anything from them, but are young. They're in their 20s. They don't have any kids, you know, whose bodies haven't gone through anything yet to say what you do works after children and marriage.
Let me tell you something. It's so much easier to make content being yourself than making up content being someone you're not. I mean,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Well, what would you say has been your proudest moment in your life?
Proudest moment? Oh gosh, probably when I got saved and I decided to stop living the world's way and start living the way God has called me to, because only then did success come. Only then did the blessings come in my life. That was real freedom for me. I stopped caring so much about other people, and I just focused on one opinion, just God's.
Powerful. Now, so you're a wife and a mom.
Yes.
And you have to be smart about money. So are there any tips you can give people out there who are struggling with saving?
You know what? It's so funny because I come from a rough upbringing, and I've been on my own and a single mom for a long time. So for me, I save everything. I don't like to spend money on much of anything if I don't have to. You know, The probably most money I spend is on groceries because I like to eat. But past that, I always look at it like hard times are always around the corner. Just to live humbly. I don't care about purses or red bottoms or shopping. My workout clothes all day long. Half the time, if I have to change, I don't want to go. I just want you to be mindful. I think people get so caught up on looking rich instead of actually being rich. And I feel like people get so caught up on materialistically thinking that's winning. I know people who have the nicest, the biggest, and still are the most miserable inside, If you're chasing things, it will never fulfill you. So don't get so caught up in sticking with the Joneses and having this and having that. If you got a car that works, you're blessed. If you have a roof over your head, you're blessed. If there's food on your table, you're blessed. Stop running out just spending stuff on nothing.
So what are some things you do every morning and every night that once you check them off the list, you've had a successful day?
Wow, I guess I never thought about it like that. I'm a pretty routine person. Because I feel like kids need structure. I think it's really important. So every morning, I get up, but there is one thing I do with Layla every morning. Being a single mom with my oldest, I didn't get a chance to really enjoy motherhood the way I wanted to. I think I was working so hard that I couldn't just stop and just take in the moment. So one thing I have done since I've had Layla, in a completely different situation, I hold her every morning. Before we get up and start our day, we just cuddle. We thank God that we woke up today. We just talk to each other and we just spend a few minutes of just loving on each other before we start our day. It's one thing I do. And then from there, everything is in order. Brushing teeth, doing our hair, coming downstairs, make breakfast, take my supplements, get her off to school, and then I'm off to the gym. And we come home from school, it's the same thing. My oldest and Layla, they come home. If they don't have any activities, it's homework, dinner, some family time. We pray every night together. Any night that we don't, that's the part I feel like, dang, I missed that. But other than that, it's pretty routine.
Oh, that's beautiful. Do you have a favorite book that has impacted your life?
For me, being married and always a fighter growing up with a slick mouth, there's a book that I read that it humbled me because I just thought I was the perfect wife. So what else could you want? But truth be told, I really wasn't. But it's called Love and Respect. And it made me realize that I was craving love, but he was craving respect in the same way. And I wasn't giving it to him because I'd bark and I'd yell and I'd nag. And as much as I thought I was so great, and he'd be like, no, you're not that great. I'd be like, how? I couldn't understand. But when I read this book, I was like, wow, I'm not respecting you the way I should be. And that was one thing I learned earlier on, midway in our relationship, to be like, wow, that was a game changer for me because I was so caught up in how I talk and how I am. And that's my culture, which wasn't cool, honestly. So that was a good one.
To Amazon to buy that book.
It was really good. It really changed your mindset because, you don't really hear things from your spouse when they're telling you, well, I need this. And it's like, yeah. But when you read it and you sit down for yourself, you're like, boom, that makes sense. That's what he's saying. So that was a good one.
On it. Thank you. So you have your own book.
I do.
Note to Self.
Yes.
What inspired you to write this?
Man, I love to write. I love to read. And I like things that I read for growth purposes. So I don't just read regular books for entertainment. I like things that I feel like plant seeds in me to make me better. And I feel like I've gone through a couple of things in life that help other women know that I'm not much different than you. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share some of my experiences and how I got through some of the fires that I feel like I've been put in, and just really help other women. It's not a whole lot, but I feel like it's powerful. And I just wanted to put that out if it could just help one person.
And people can purchase that on your website, right?
They can purchase it on my website. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so you said in the morning you head out to the gym. So do you work out 5 days a week,
Yeah.
3 days a week,
It's almost, about at least 5. I might take one day off during the week, but that's because I work out on Saturdays too. You know, I do that free live stream boot camp every morning every Saturday at 11 a.m. So that's a whole nother workout. So solidly since New Year's started back, 5 days a week.
And how do you make fitness fun? What are some of your favorite classes?
Oh, there's, I work out with my husband. That's always an entertainment because we're always getting into it still. But sometimes we'll do workouts together that are a lot fun. But there is this one class that I like, that's at the gym that we go to at the Forum called Fast Twitch. It's really hard, but it's amazing. And it's another one called Cardio Agility. Super intense. It's definitely not for beginners, but you guys think I'm fit? No. The ladies in there, and they're older than me, take this class, be running circles around me. But it motivates me because it just shows me I'm not, I feel like if you're the best in the room, then you can't grow from that, Right. So when I'm like, I'm the weakest link, it pushes me in that competition mode to go hard. So it's pretty fun. That's a good one.
Anyone listening, that sounds like a great one. I need to try that out.
Yeah, so, Thursday's Cardio Agility, 9 a.m.
Forum Lenox Mall, right?
That's it.
Okay, cool. Now, if someone really wants to get in shape quickly, what kind of workouts should they do? Like, what are the most effective ones?
I love what I have on my plan. And I created this because after having kids, HIIT cardio was how I leaned out the fastest, not to mention kept me curvy. I always tell people, if you look at a long distance runner, their body is completely opposite of what a sprinter's body is. And sprinters train high intensity. So they're curvy, they're defined, but they're solid. And I love that look rather than just slimness, which I feel like you get if you're just kind of going with the flow. You gotta get intense in areas. So my program being a lot of HIIT workout, cardio is what's great. You got burpees and squat jumps and lunges and everything that's going to keep your body hot and moving really fast, burning really fast.
All right. And what's always in your gym bag?
My resistant bands and my waist belt. Always.
Now, is there anything that if you forgot to bring to the gym, you would just cancel the whole workout?
No, not too much. Not too much in that. God, if I make it to the gym, I got to do something while I'm there.
Okay, well, what do you eat before and after, or before or after a workout?
My husband is always trying to make me eat the egg whites and oatmeal before my workout. I'm pretty bad. Breakfast is one of the most important things, but some days I skip the meal and I'll just grab a protein bar and then get the workout in, because a lot of times when I'm getting the kids ready, the last thing I'm thinking about is myself. So I just get caught up. And then when I finally drop them off, I get to the gym and I'm like, wow, I didn't even eat yet. So I'll grab a protein bar and do that. And then afterwards, I'll usually grab a protein shake, and depending on where I'm at, a salad. I don't do too much.
Well, on your IG, you're pretty open about your beauty regimen. So what are some of your go-to products?
Oh, my sister is actually who does all my facials. She runs a med spa in South Carolina. So I go to her for everything. She's super, super great. So she has me on the Zio Bagial. I can never say the word Zio. It's a Zio line. And it's amazing. The cleansing pads, the scrubbing, the exfoliations, the masks, the eye creams, the whole nine. So I live by those every night. Sulfur mask. So I use all of that.
And what about deodorant?
Always.
What brand? Because everyone's so particular about the brand they use.
Really? I use what's on sale. No, I use Suave. I'm telling you, I'm not I have to have this, I have to have that. No, I just need deodorant. If I don't have mine, I'll just grab my husband's. I really, I think I have Suave. Yeah, I think that's the one I got upstairs right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you're the co-creator of an event called Define the Relationship, What Women
Want. It's called What Women Want. And the topic is DTR, Define the Relationship, for the first one. There'll be different topics, though, because I'm trying to keep this going. This is not a one-time event.
Oh, I love this. So what women want. So what can women expect who come to What Women Want?
Well, you can definitely expect a lot of what is on my page already. We're going to talk about red flags, non-negotiables, how to know he's the one, separating your mind, just a whole nine. A lot. I know there's going to be single girls and everything on the panel as well talking. But I want to be able to give it from a married experience as well, because a lot of people tend to think because you're married, you didn't date or something, like you just woke up married. Right. Like, no, I've had my experience dating like a lot. So I want to be able to share that. I want to be completely open about my experience, how I got from there to here. So if you think I'm transparent on Instagram, wait till you hear me talk live.
Like it's going to be so good. So that's on March 21st.
March 21st from 2 to 5. So I'm super, 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 super excited about it. Like super excited. Because I really feel like dating should be fun. I get that it's tough, but I'm going to speak a lot on why I believe that and what we can change our perspective. So I'm excited.
Well, where can our listeners register?
They can register on the website on totalbody21.com.
Okay, very cool.
Just click the event tabs. Everything is on the website.
Everything. Okay, so
yes.
When you hear the words "pretty girls sweat," what do they mean to you?
I think it's motivating because you depending what area you grew up in, it's like, oh, pretty girls don't do all that. Oh, I'm not sweating. Oh, I'm not. Girls, sweat it out. That is fat leaving the body. You working. So I love it. I love changing the perspective and concept that working out too much is, oh, I don't want to get like this, or I care about my makeup. No, screw that. Sweat it out. I love it.
And as a mom of 2 daughters, if there's anything that you could share with them, or any advice or any words of wisdom you could give them right now, what would that be?
Oh man, if my daughters are listening, I love you so much, and it doesn't matter how you started your day or how you feel. Just keep going. Don't quit at nothing, because you can be anything you want to be. You just put the work in. And that's one thing I'm always trying to let them know. You can do whatever. You can be whatever. But you're going to have to put the work in for it. And if you're willing to do that, sky's the limit.
And that's Leticia. To keep up with her life, upcoming events, and wellness tips, follow her on Instagram at Leticia Marie Gardner. Just one more thing before you take off. Do you want to get a short email from Pretty Girl Sweat every Monday and Friday that serves as a daily dose of all things inspiring and allows you priority access to our upcoming events? Just go to prettygirlsweat.com. That's prettygirls with an S, sweat.com. Drop in your email and you'll get the very next one. And if you sign up, you'll soon discover that there's no hood like sisterhood. Until next time, always remember that good things come to those who sweat.